babu wani kama da kai, ai babu wani.
Yeah, everybody, you are welcome to yet another edition of Africa's Realities. As usual, my name is Mr. Johnson Yakubusani, and today I'm out with another video. Today, I just want to talk about a very sensitive issue here, an issue that concerns the Hausa-Fulani. We all know that the Hausa-Fulani, they stay in northern Nigeria, and they are like brothers and sisters. But today, there's a problem between the Hausas and the Fulani, and we're going to look into these problems, and we're going to dissect these problems. Now, before I go further, I want you to subscribe and turn up the notification bell so that whenever I drop a video, you'll be amongst the first to get to watch. And I want to thank my returning subscribers for always coming back to view the videos I put here. And I also ask that you should click the like button so that this video can be shared to a lot of places by YouTube. And without further ado, let's go further into the video of today. Now, today I want to talk about Hausa-Fulani. Now, for those of us who are not from Nigeria, I want to just give a little brief about Hausa and Fulani. Hausa are the original inhabitants of northwestern Nigeria. Yes, these are the people who were the inhabitants of northwest Nigeria. They are Hausa people. But we have Fulani people, and these Fulani people, you can't really trace where they came from. There is no a place you can say this is where these people originate from. We all know that these people, they are in our bushes. They're like in everywhere. But they are not, there is not a place you can say this is where they are from in Nigeria. But many of us believe they are from Mali, they are from Niger, they are from all Burkina Faso, and they are called Fula. The Fula people, but in Nigeria we call them Fulani, we add I to their name. So Fulani, they migrated. And even before colonial masters came, the Fulani were migrating with their cattle to come down southern part of West Africa, where they will find pasture when there's drought or during dry season. And when the rainy season begins to come back, they now begin to move their cattle back northward because now they can find pasture in the northern part of West Africa. So there are people who come down to the southern part, but in the bushes, they've not set up any village or any community or any settlement. They live, they migrate, they are called nomadic, and they migrate from one bush to another. But then, there is this history of another Fulani that came with Islam, and he came and brought Islam to the Hausa people, and he's called Mr. Danfodio, Usman Danfodio, Malam Usman Danfodio. Now, this Malam Usman Danfodio, he is not a herder, a cattle herder. No, he was an Islamic scholar, and he's a Fulani. And he came to preach the Islamic message, and he converted a lot of, in fact, the entirety of the Hausa people. And then he now set his kind of government. That is even before colonial masters came. He set a government, a centralized government, where there was a sultan, and there are emirs who report to the sultan, and there are district heads, and there was a system of government. And that was why when the white people came, they found a system of government in northern Nigeria, because this Usman Danfodio has already set this system of government. So it was easy for the colonial masters to do indirect rule in northern Nigeria, because already there was Islamic kind of a government system already at work in northern Nigeria. So a lot of the northern people believe he brought Islam. But what the Hausa people believe, there has always been Islam in northern Nigeria. It's just that it was not organized, and there are hierarchy of leaders from Sultan and the rest. But the Hausa people believe they have been having contacts with Arabian people who come even down to trans-Saharan trade with Kano, and they have introduced Islam already. So there was Islam before Usman Danfodio came. He only came and organized the Islam. Well, that's, by the way, that's not the message of today. The message of today is that we all know that the Hausa and the Fulani are like one people. They are one people. Everything they do as one people. So that we don't even call them Hausa, we call them Fulani. We call them Hausa-Fulani as if they are one language. So when we want to talk about them, we say Hausa-Fulani, the Hausa-Fulani people, the Hausa-Fulani people. They have intermarried, especially the Fulanis that are living in the city, plus the Hausa people. They have intermarried, and they are like one people. So all the years we know that the city Fulani man and the Hausa Fulani man, they are like one people, so they are called Hausa Fulani. It's only the nomadic Fulani person who is a herder in the bush that is very different, because he has not had any integration with Hausa people. He lives in the bush with his cattle and he marries only his kind. He doesn't marry from Hausa. Hausa don't marry them, they don't marry Hausa. They are Fulani people and they live in the bushes, in forest. These people live in forest, and this is who they are. But because of the relationship between the city Fulanis and the Hausa people, so even the Hausa or even the Fulani in the bush cannot recognize the Hausa man as his brother. So there is this oneness between the Fulanis and the Hausa that was long ago. But today, there is a great dichotomy between the Hausas and the Fulanis. And these people are fighting against themselves. I don't want to say some things that will strike my video, but these people, they are fighting WAR. There is a WAR happening between these two people. And today, there is a dichotomy, that there is great hatred between the Hausa and the Fulani. Now, before I go further, there are numerous videos going about the Hausa and the Fulani, especially Hausa people making videos against the Fulani. But I just pick one because I don't want to make this video so long to bring too many videos. But let's listen to one person who is talking against the Fulani, a Hausa lady talking against the Fulani. When we come back, we are going to discuss more, because we need to know some things about this recent hatred and the dichotomy between the Hausas and the Fulani that is happening in this age. Watch this video. When we come back, we'll analyze them all.
Idan gaskiya ne ku bar Bahaushe ya mulki kansa a ƙasar samana. Ko da shi dan fodiyan yazo ai ya iske akwai musulunci, ya ce wai ai jaddadawa zai yi, musulunci mu ba daidai bane. To kuma da aka ce haka, sai ya kwace sarauta na Katsina babu Bahaushe, na Kano babu, na Jigawa, na Sokoto duka babu Bahaushe. Kuna son kanku mutanen nan da yawa. Duka wannan kawaicin bai isa ba. A'a, yanzu kuma kun gayyato mutanen ku jahilai da kikai su zo su karkashe mu. Shin su jihadi bai tabbata akan su bane, waɗanda ba su da ilimi da kuka bar su a daji suna faman yawo da dabbobi, ba san me suke ba. Gara mu duk lalacewar Bahaushe, duk yanda kai ga lalacewa baya zuwa makarantar boko, wannan karatun Qur'anin zai je yayi shi, za a tura shi yayi shi, sai dai a ce yana bara, amma kuma yana da ilimin Qur'ani, ya san Allah, akwai imani a ransa. Su kuma yaran ku gaba ɗaya ba sa karatun Qur'ani, sai dai a jefa su su kama kiwon da su jihadin da tabbata akan su bane, sai akan Hausawa wanda suka riko da musulunci. An cusa mana kiyaye da junan mu, ba ma san wanda shi ba musulmi bane. An raba mu da waɗanda suka kasance ƴan ƙasa ne, ƴan Najeriya ne, an haɗa mu da waɗanda ba ƴan ƙasa bane, sun zo suna zalunta mu da sunan addini, suna boyewa a bayan Hausawa. Kuma ba a san a faɗi gaskiya, kuma abin bai isa ba har ana kashe ka. Duk wanda ya ce yana son rayuwarka, kai ma ka ce kana son nashi. Abin yayi yawa haka, dole sai mun zo mun faɗi abin da yake faruwa. Yan uwan mu ku waye, ku daina ku fitar da wani aƙida da ake muku na zaɓe na siyasa. Duk munafincin su ne. In ba haka ba, gwamnan Kano ba Fulatani, vice ɗin shi ba Fulatani, Katsina ba Fulatani, Fulani nawa suka mulki Katsina, sun fi mutum 4 ne sani da nake raye da wayona. Kano mutum ɗaya taɓa mulkin ba Kano Bahaushe, duk yawanci Fulani ne. Me dalili? Shi Bahaushe bai da ƴanci ne?
Yeah, you're welcome back. Now you heard what this lady said. She enumerated some points that she was very angry at. But we all know these were no points that nobody was pointing them out before, because these people see themselves as one. It is now that they have a problem between themselves that we know that there are cracks. Now, she was talking about how Islam has been with them before Danfodio came, and she was believing Danfodio came and fought their people to bring his kind of Islam that he introduced to them. And Danfodio is a Fulani man. And she is saying that since that time, the Fulani people, they now form their leadership. And since at that time, it's only people with Fulani ancestry that have been ruling Hausa land. You have to trace somebody with Fulani ancestry to be a person that is leading, especially the Islamic scholars. 90% of them are people who are their ancestral their ancestry are Fulani. Now, even the political people leading, people becoming governors and people becoming presidents of Nigeria from the northern part are Fulanis. So it is now the Hausa people are saying, why is only Fulani? And because there is a problem between the Hausas and the Fulani, I'll get to the problem. I will tell you what brings the dichotomy between the Fulani and the Hausas. Before we get there, just want to talk about some of the key things she said. Now, she said that the Fulani came and separated them from other Nigerians. So she believed the Fulani came, and instead of them to be one with other Nigerians, like the Hausa people to see themselves with the Igbos, with the Yorubas, with all over Nigeria, to see how we build Nigeria and have a great Nigeria, the Fulani now came and are telling them it is people of Niger, Mali that are their brothers. People of southern Nigeria are not their brothers. So they now brought this division, and she's saying they separated them from the real people who are people of their land, who are people of their country. The Fulani separated them from these people, and the Fulani are linking them to their brothers who are not part of this country, and and this is what the Fulani has done to them to bring an enmity between the north and the south. Well, this is one of the points she made. Now, another point she made is that the Fulani who claim to have brought Islam to them are not practicing the Islam, which is true. I'm not talking about the Fulani in the city. The real Fulani in the bush are not practicing this Islam. They don't, I hardly even see a nomadic Fulani man going to pray 5 times a day, leaving his cows. They are not even practicing the religion. And she is believing that it is them, the Hausa people, that no matter what, even if they don't have Western education, they must have Islamic education to know about the religion and to follow the dictates of the religion. So she is believing they are even more Muslim than the Fulani. And she has her grabs. Now, why is this lady having all this issue with the Fulani? It's because of the WAR happening between the Fulanis and the Hausas. Now, this is where I'm going to come in. How did we come about this? You see, I want to tell my Hausa people that conspiracy silence has repercussion. When there's conspiracy silence, there are always repercussions. Now, when farmers in the Middle Belt and the Fulani herders are having this problem, you, the Hausa people, you were supporting your brothers, the Fulanis. You were not looking at what is really happening. I can remember vividly, it is the Fulani coming to Benue State to thief land, to Idoma land, and before you know, going into villages, unaliving people, and what? Because they believe people attack their cows. And why did the farmers attack their cows? Is because the cows have eaten all the crops of the farmers. And then cow eat the crops of farmers. Farmers are angry, farmers attack cows. Fulani are angry, Fulani attack farmers. And this has been going on. And before you know, we had genocidal thing happening. Now the Hausa people never condemned it. It happened many years in Benue. Even Buhari was at a loggerhead with Suswam, the former governor of Benue, because of the activities of Fulanis and farmers clashes that drove the former governor out of APC back into PDP because of the activities of Fulani and farmers. We all know how a village are being attacked and are being wiped. Well, I can't say some things clearly, but I have to say the way I can say them. Now, we all know all these things happening in the middle belt. It happened many times in Benue, and then it happened many times in Plateau. Even up to today, people in rural Plateau are not really having it good because of the activities of the Fulanis and the Christian farmers in the middle belt, in Benue, in Jos, from Biron people to Central Jos, Bokos, and the rest. This is what we hear. We are what the villagers are going through. Then, Southern Kaduna. We hear all these things. That we had El-Rufai going to pay compensation to the Fulani herders so that they will not do what they are doing. But it never solved anything. And the Southern Kaduna. Now, Hausa people, you saw all this. You were supposed to lend your voice to see that this thing stops. Because this thing was becoming like a merchandise. Or a merchandise. Where people are profiting. And you never say something, and there was conspiracy silence. Now these same people have moved to carry their merchandise to the northwest. You never knew they would carry it. The same thing they were doing in the north central. You have never believed they will ever come to the northwest. Now it's happening in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Jigawa, in Kebbi. Everywhere northwest is on fire. Now this is the repercussion of conspiracy silence. If you have lent your voice at that time to condemn any act of genocide, any act of wiping out, you should have condemned it, even though these people are your brothers. You never condemned it. You saw it as your brother Islam, and you are supporting them. And today, it has backfired. But we're not happy it backfired. We need peace. We need peace all over the nation. We need peace in Nigeria. We need peace everywhere. We need peace. So, all I can say is that, well, we need the Hausas to stop using this Arna, Capre, all the divisive things that we have been put to divide us. Because it is unity that we can have to build our country. Without unity, we can't build our country. And southern people are not really happy with the northern people because the northern people would rather see that they developed Niger and Chad because of they have the same culture with them than they see the southern Nigeria being developed. And that is the kind of mentality that a northern Muslim has, which is wrong, because the Nigerian person is not thinking about you. You can hear recently how they were. It was Tinubu government that was against Niger, but Niger didn't. They didn't talk as if they are talking to Tinubu government. They say the entire Nigeria, even the Hausa people, they say all of you are betrayers. They don't want you. They have nothing to do with you, and they hated you. You can see that they are not thinking of you the way you are thinking of them. So you have to think of the people where you can join hands together and build Nigeria. This is how we can only build Nigeria. So any conspiracy silence you feel it's not happening to you, it's happening to somebody. Now it is, because you didn't lend your voice to see that we nip this in the bud. Now it has moved over to you. The same problem of cattle eating farm products, or farmers attacking cattle or rustling cattle, and of retaliation, and now there is an all-out WAR between the two of you. And it all happened because you didn't let your voice to nip it in a bud when it started in the north central and in the middle belt. But we want to see a Nigeria that works. So please, in fact, our goal is that let the Fulani settle whatever grievance they have with everybody. You can't be fighting everybody everywhere. You can't be fighting everybody. You can't be fighting Hausa. You are fighting Jos people. You are fighting Benue people. You are fighting Kaduna people. You are going down to the south. You are fighting Igbos. You are fighting Yorubas. You can't be fighting everybody. You can't work like that. Because you live in the bush, you can come from the bush and go back to the bush. It can't work like that. So whatever the thing is bringing all this, we need to have a settlement where we can work together as one people. So please, Nigeria, let's be together as one people. Thank you for listening to my video. Until I come your way another day, my name is Mr. Johnson Yakubu Sani.